Good afternoon, Lokeshwar Rao, sir. Sir, is it audible, sir? Now it's appearing, sir.
Am I audible to you?
Yes, sir. You are audible, sir.
I think then what?
Okay.
Just wait. Let me.
Okay, sir. Sir, it was coming, sir.
Coming?
It was appearing. You may share your screen again.
See?
Now I think it will. Now it is coming. Sir, you just open the PPT now. Yes, sir. This one, sir.
Visible to you?
Yes, sir. Visible.
Okay, right,
Sir,
right.
if possible, make it full screen, sir.
Screen, huh?
Full screen. It's okay, sir. No problem. So, okay, let it be, sir. So I welcome you all in the one-day workshop on research methodologies, project proposal, and paper writing. So this program is organized by Department of ECE, CMR College of Engineering and Technology, as a part of IIC, that is Institutions Innovation Council, institute-driven activities, and directed by Ministry of Education's Innovation Cell, Government of India. Now, I kindly request our HOD sir to give the welcome address. Sir, we are not audible. Even we are unable to hear you, sir.
I'd like to.
Yes, sir. Now it's audible, sir.
The fact workshop project proposal. We like to thank our respected Secretary Sir, Honorable Principal Sir, Major Dr. V. Narayana Garu, for giving us the opportunity for conducting such events as part of Institution's Innovation Council. And this program is driven by activities directed by Ministry of Education's Innovation Council, Government of India. I wholeheartedly thank Dr. B. Lokeswara sir for sharing his valuable knowledge in delivering an expert talk in our department. I hope the session will be productive to all our faculty and students in understanding the basic concepts of research and its methodology. In this session, we have invited our final year students so that they can understand the process of writing technical reports. That is BTech. Right now, they will have to write the BTech thesis. It is also very critical part of your BTech program. So I wish you all the best to my dear students, and thank you all. Thank you all.
Thank you, HOD sir, for your motivating speech. Thank you, sir. Now I would like to introduce our today's resource person. Dr. V. Lokeshwar Rao sir is currently working as a professor in our Department of ECE and Dean Academics at CMR College of Engineering and Technology since September 2014. He has more than 28 years of experience in academics in different roles, such as principal, vice principal, dean, head of the departments, etc. in different engineering colleges across the states of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. He received his PhD degree from the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, Andhra University College of Engineering, in the field of signal processing and VLSI. His current area of research and development work include GPS-INS integrations, electromagnetics, antennas, and VLSI. He has served as a resource person in a number of international conferences, symposium, FTPs, workshops conducted by various engineering colleges. He has published more than 26 papers in reputed international journals, 6 papers in international conference, and 4 papers in national conference on GPS-INS integration, communications, antennas, and embedded systems. He has also served as a co-investigator for DHT, FIST, Government of India sponsored projects of 32 lakhs in the year 2017. He is the fellow of Institution of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineers, New Delhi, Institution of Engineers, Kolkata. He is also serving as a member of the International Association of Engineers, Hong Kong, and senior member of the International Economics Development and Research Center, Hong Kong. He is also serving as an editorial member in a number of reputed international journals like Journal of Wireless Communication and Technology, Singapore, Journal of Computer Hardware Engineering, USA, International Journal of Engineering and Science. Now I kindly request our Lokeshwar Rao sir to start the session.
Good afternoon all. Am I audible to you?
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir.
Okay. So respected Secretary of the CMR Group of Institutions, C.H. Gopal Reddy Garu, and our beloved Principal, Major Dr. V. Narayana in absentia, our HOD, Professor Ponchandra Rao, the CIE Head, Dr. Premalata, the Coordinator, CIE, Dr. Moil Islam, our faculty members, our students, a very good afternoon to all. Today I am presenting you about research methodologies, project proposal, and paper writing as a part of activity of the CAE on behalf of the institution's innovation cell of Ministry of Education, Government of India. A warm welcome to you all. Let me go back to the presentation mode. Slides are visible to you?
Sir, right now it's not visible.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
may go to slide. You may open the slide.
I'm going. See once again.
Sir, screen is appearing. Okay. Then now you may share again, sir.
Is it coming?
Sir, yes, sir. Screen is appearing, sir, but I think just PPT has to be open, sir.
I already opened the PPT.
Yeah, now it's coming, sir.
Now it is coming. Eh?
Yes, sir. Now
Okay,
it's
I will
coming.
put in the slides.
Yes, sir.
From the beginning.
Yes, sir.
Current slide. On 1 minute. Okay. Yes, right?
Yes, sir. Right. It's okay, sir.
See, my contents for the today's speech or introduction, research ethics, research proposal, and paper writing. First, about research. What is research? So research is an endeavor to discover answers to intellectual and practical problems through the application of scientific method. Research is a systematized effort to gain new knowledge as per Redman and Mori. Research is a systematic process of collecting and analyzing information in order to increase our understanding of the phenomenon about which we are concerned or interested. Now now I will take you back to 18th century, just telling you about discoveries and inventions, for example. So you know about the structure of atom, the electron, the proton, neutron. Is it the invention of the cathode ray tube, the invention of X-ray? I hope these terminologies probably you know. For example, we say that Vasco da Gama discovered America. Is it? America is already existing, but not known to anybody. So, already existing fact, he showed that there is America. For example, Columbus discovered America. Vasco da Gama discovered India, like that. So, whatever these inventions are, for example, I can say that for 50 years, electricity and magnetism were maintained as a separate theories, and with only one invention of Ørsted, that a current carrying conductor produces magnetic fields. The two independent theories got merged. Is it? Now I know what you mean by a discovery, what you mean by invention. Is it not? The inventions of Thomas Alva Edison, the inventions of Newton, is it? The inventions of Faraday's, and also the discovery of many of the scientists in the Europe in the 18th century. Now today we are having a beautiful technology. You may ask that, sir, you are telling about the Europe or the other world other than India. During those days, our discoveries are in philosophy. India is only exploring about philosophy in those days, whereas the Western countries, they are into full discoveries and inventions. That is why today, technologically, they are highly advanced than our country, right? So that is what I want to make you clear about the discovery, invention. Invention is a very big term. Next comes discovery. These are the parts of research work. Today, this type of research work is not in India. The crude research work is available in the UK, the USA, the European countries, and the Australia, because there xeroxing a paper is a prohibited for even LKG students. There is an LKG student also cannot go to a Xerox shop and ask, give me a Xerox copy of this. That is not available. So this is actually, we call it as a invent invention model or discovery model type of researches. The other forms of researches that we are doing or exploratory type research work, description type, diagnostic type research works, and hypothesis type research work. These are the things that today we are doing. I think I can show you all these things. Today we are having exploratory type of research work, descriptive type of research work, diagnostic type of research work, the hypothesis testing research work, right? I think I made to you clear what actually a research one, invention model, discovery models, and the other models, right? So to discover answers to the application of scientific procedures, to gain familiarity with a phenomenon, or to achieve new insights into it, this model, you call it as exploratory or formulative research. To portray accurately the characteristics of a particular individual, situation, or a group, this you call it as descriptive model of research work. To determine the frequency with which something occurs or with which it is associated with something else, this you call the diagnostic model, diagnostic research. To test a hypothesis of a relationship between variables, this you call it as hypothesis testing research. I think I gave you 6 different types of research models. What are the characteristics of research? Research is directed towards the solution of a problem. Main important thing is that you require solution for a problem, an engineering problem, or a science problem, or a humanities problem, isn't it? Or management problem, based on observable experience or empirical evidence, demands accurate observation and description, involves gathering new data from primary sources or using existing data for a new purpose. It involves the quest for answers to unsolved problems. Quest for answers to unsolved problems. I think you can remember our Thomas Alva Edison. How many times he tested for an electric bulb? I think he really got fed up with that. And you can also see the inventions of our great scientist Einstein. Is it? You can also see our universal scientists. Many are there. Stephen Hawkins. That you can see his thesis, which is put on the website. Stephen Hawking's theory over the universe. Is it? Really, you're supposed to read at least sometimes whenever you're free all these things. So research is objective and logical, applying every possible test to validate the data collected and conclusions reached. And what are the criteria for a good research? For example, what are the quality of a good research? Systematic, systematically working, logical conclusions, empirical, sometimes empirical derivations are required, should be replicate, you should replicate your research work. These are the qualities of a good research. And what is actually need for a research? Exploration, description, diagnosis, hypothesis, inductions and deductions. So what is the criteria for a good research problem? Should be the research clear and unambiguous. You should find it out. Whatever research problem you have found should be clear and unambiguous. Empirical relationships, verifiable, should be valid. It's verifiable in a problem. It should be interesting, novel and original, availability of guidance. So all these things are the criteria for a good research. Problems faced by researchers during research work, many problems are faced by researchers. Is it? Every doctorate will be knowing what are the problems. For example, your guide will be stopping. Your guide neighbors, uh, your guide's colleagues, they will be stopping you to prosecute your research work. Is it? Many hurdles will be there for research scholar while doing a research work. Is it? I will tell you what are they. Not similar to science, uncontrollable variables. So many uncontrollable variables will be there. So you say that your publications are over, but your guide is not going to accept. You say your publications are over, but university may not accept. Is it like that? Uncontrollable variables, human tendencies, time and money. Research is not a time bound thing like a 4 years graduate degree, undergraduate degree, or 2 years postgraduate degree. It's not. There's no time for this one. Money consumption will be more. Those is lack of computerization, but now anyhow, this computerization is a lot, but you people should be conversant with the computerization, which is not happening nowadays. Lack of scientific training in the methodology of research, insufficient interaction between university research departments and business establishments. You're working for research problem in your department, but there is sometimes some help is needed from other departments. They do not cooperate. So you have to struggle for that. Lack of confidence on the part of business units to give information. Lack of code of conduct. Difficulty of adequate and timely secretarial assistance. Secretarial assistance means you need some help for typing. Is it? All these things, reprographic works. Poor library management and functioning. This is about the physical library system which was functioning, but today everything is online management system. Difficulty of timely availability of published data. It's not that much easy to get the published data in which you are working. A problem. Data collection techniques. What are the different types of data collection techniques that we use for research work? One is a primary data. Second one is secondary data. What is secondary data? The researcher has selected a particular problem. So on that, he might have collected or she might have collected. That is researcher specific data. That's what you call. The secondary data are the ones that have not been collected for the immediate study at hand, but for purposes other than the problem at hand. For example, you take our engineering college, we have got so much of data we are collecting, right? From the admission side to examination side to classes running, etc. A lot of data is being collected. I think you can see a lot of researches have gone about the teaching methodologies during online and offline. In these 3 years of COVID period, many people have done research about the online education system, engineering model. Is it the online education for engineering, the online education for science courses, the online education for arts courses, the online education for from LKG to SSC and all the intermediate. There are a lot of research work has gone. That will be useful. The secondary data is useful for many problems to be solved, not for a specific problem. The data collection techniques, both types of data offer specific advantages and disadvantages. What are they? Primary, is it secondary data? Secondary data offer cost and time economies to the researcher as they already exist in various forms in the company or in the market. Just now I told you, over 3 years of COVID, lot of data is collected across the world regarding our online education system. Is the online education fit for engineering courses or not? Is it fit for science courses or not? Is it fit for the primary education system or the higher education system? It is feasible for a firm to collect because since they are collected for some other purposes, it may sometimes not perfectly getting fitted into the problem that you are going to define as a research problem. The objectives, nature, and methods used to collect the secondary data may not be appropriate to the present situation. See, overall, here some data is collected from different units of an organization. It can be either an education institutions or an industry or a research laboratory, whatever it is. During the course, you are going to collect data. That all data being collected in a particular organization from all the departments, you can call it as a secondary data collection. A researcher's important function is appropriate interpretation of different types of statistical data with the help of his tools. What tools I will tell you. The preliminary statistical work consists of collection, classification, tabulation, presentation, and analysis of data. The most important part of the statistical work consists in the proper use of the statistical tools in interpretation of data. The most commonly used tools are mean, median, mode, geometric mean, measures of dispersion such as range, mean deviation, standard deviation, and also other measures such as coefficient of correlation, index numbers, etc. In the engineering, especially for our electronics and communication related problems, probability is a very, very important thing which you all people must know. Probability and stochastic process. It is necessary to note that technical interpretation of data has to be combined with a high degree of sound judgment, statistical experience, skill, and accuracy. All these things are very important. High degree of sound judgment. That means you must know about what it is. For example, you should know what is mean, what is median, what is mode, what is geometric mean, what are measures of dispersion, right? Range, mean deviation, standard deviation, and all these things. So without knowing all this, it become meaningless for us because we are going to express our things, research work in terms of these things. Unscientifically and analyzed incompetently would lead to general distrust in statistics by the citizens. Should be understood that statistical methods are the most dangerous tools in the hands of an expert. I think for the past 3 years, statistical prediction of COVID virus is happening. I think you see IIT Kanpur is working, IIT Madras is working. I think the UK, the Oxford University is working on that COVID prediction models. But I think you know what is happening, is it? So it is very difficult. COVID, it is making us to suffer for the last 3 years, but we are unable to see when it is going to off. So that is what I want to say. Statistical methods are the most dangerous tools in the hands of an expert. Many experts are working on COVID, but it is becoming very difficult. Authenticity and relevance of a research investigation is based on the assurance of error-free, qualitative reliability of the collected data. Data processing has to be carried out in appropriate manner. This is very, very important. Authenticity and relevance of a research investigation. Processing comprises the task of editing, coding, classification, and tabulation. In spite of a careful collection by a researcher, there may be a possibility for errors of omission and commission arising, and it is for this purpose that the process of editing becomes necessary. So a lot of editing is required during the course of research work. Think a lot of things to be omitted, a lot of things, so many errors we will be getting. All these things they should do because research work in engineering especially takes 6 to 8 years, a minimum thing. The doctor of philosophy in engineering takes around 6 to 8 years. That's it, minimum. So a lot of things are required for this process: data editing, data coding, data analysis, data pertaining to economic, psychological, sociological, or managerial phenomena necessarily requires appropriate interpretation to the use of analytical procedures based on inductive or deductive logical reasoning. I told you, research is not only meant for engineering, it is meant for science, meant for arts, is it not? Meant for all the types of research, is it? So proper statistical methods will have to apply it for scientific analysis depending upon the nature of the data, which may be nominal, ordinal, interval, or ratio level, a researcher's precision in the use of parametric or non-parametric tests of hypothesis are very, very important. There are two types of statistical analysis. One thing is descriptive analysis. Second one is inferential analysis. Financial ratio analysis is a study of ratios between various items or groups of items in financial statements. Financial ratios can be broadly classified into the following categories. They are liquidity ratios, leverage ratios, turnover ratios, profitability ratios, and valuation ratios. This will help you in the research problems of management science. That is why engineering we have got courses on MEFA and management science. You are knowing, is it? So doctorates are being produced in the area of management science, that is MBA and all, where we will be using all these data, liquidity ratios, leverage ratios, turnover ratios, profitability and valuation ratios. Research ethics. What are research ethics? Yes. Approaches of effective literature studies. Introduce the literature review by pointing out the major research topic that will be discussed. Think before doing a research problem, I think minimum 1 year research literature review is required for a postgraduate engineer, is it not? So a lot of thing. I mean, you need to consolidate so many things. You need to take the findings in the chronological order. You see that there is a problem existing in this. You have to identify the scope for a problem. Identify the broad problem area, but don't be too global. Is it, for example, discussing the history of education when the topic is on specific instructional strategy? For example, your research topic is on how to give a specific instruction mechanisms. So if you want to discuss about history of education, when education was introduced, is it in the 4th century or in the 1st century? I think that is meaningless. Here the question is, what specific instructional strategy is your research problem, not the history of education, right? So don't be general, you need to be specific. Discuss the general importance of your topic for those in your field. What is your field? Is your field in electronics? Is your field uh, advanced electronics, that is VLSI? What is your field? Is it analog communications? Is it digital communications? Is it electromagnetics? Is it embedded systems? Is it antennas? Is it not? Is it signal processing? Is it image processing? So like that, you need to see. Don't attempt to cover everything written on your topic. You will need to pick out the research most relevant to the topic you are studying, because that is better. Because you are an MTech embedded systems, then you need to find out research problem related to embedded system. Your MTech communication engineering, better to find out a problem related to communication engineering. Your MTech electronics specialization, better to find out a problem in electronics. So like that, you should see. So you will use the studies in your literature review as evidence that your research question is an important one. That is the reason why you're spending a lot of time on your literature review. Is it is important to cover research relevant to all variables being studied. What are the variables? Research problem. Research that explains the relationship between these variables top priority. You will need to plan how you will structure your literature review and write from this plan. Is it? I think, for example, gain bandwidth. You know about an electronics gain bandwidth, right? If you want to go for research on this, one is at the expense of others. One is at the expense of others. For example, in antennas, if you're going for a beam width and gain, one is at the expense of others. Is it right? Opposite nature? One is at the expense of others. You should see these things. Approaches of effective literature studies, topical order, chronological order, problem cause solution order. What is topical order? organize by main topics or issues, emphasize the relationship of the issues to the main problem, chronological order, organize the literature by the dates the research was published. This I was telling you. For example, if you want to do a research on a, I think, gallium arsenide MOSFET, for example. Gallium arsenide MOSFET is a transistor which we are using in the microelectronics, for example. I think the research is around 1980 saturated by that time. So try to collect information afterwards and then put it to do research. Problem, cause, solution order. Organize a review so that it moves from the problem to the solution. General to specific order. Examine broad-based research first and then focus on specific studies that relate to the topic. Specific to general order. Try to discuss specific research studies so conclusions can be drawn. After reviewing the literature, summarize what has been done, what has not been done, and what needs to be done. Remember, you are arguing your point of why your study is important, that you should justify. That is a standard research problem for you people, right? Like today, today we are in the 5G. Why 5G? 4G is already there. Why we have gone for 5G? 5G work started nearly 10 years back. That's it. 10 years back itself, people started researching on the 5G. Then we have come out from 4G to 5G. The US started 5G communications. That's it. We are about to start 5G communications in India. You can see very good research reviews from the European nations. They do perfect research. Then pose a formal research question or state a hypothesis. Be sure this is clearly linked to your literature review. All sources cited in the literature review should be listed in the references. Bibliography, what you call. And whatever you are saying in the first chapter is a literature review for a thesis work. So this should be available at the back of the thesis as bibliography. A literature review should include introduction, summary, critique of journal articles, justifications for your research project, and the hypothesis for your research project. Approaches of effective literature studies. Review isn't logically organized. It isn't focused on most important facets of the study. It doesn't relate literature on the study. Too few references or outdated references cited. It isn't written in others' own words. It reads like a series of disjointed summaries. It doesn't argue a point. Recent references are omitted. You must take care in all these things. Logical organization, focusing, is it literature, is it recent references, you should write in your own words, right? You should argue about the point, references should be given, all these things. Now, plagiarism. What is plagiarism? Using another writer's words without proper citation, using another writer's ideas with proper citation, citing a source but reproducing the exact word without quotation marks, browsing the structure of another author's phrases, sentences without giving the source, borrowing all or part of another student's papers. All these things are part of plagiarism. In the beginning itself, I told you, if you go to UK, they don't allow even an LKG student to take a Xerox of a paper. That's all. That is a level of plagiarism what they follow in the other countries. In India, we are all with almost a worst type of journals. Is it? So what are the types? Copying. Copying is the most common type of plagiarism. Is it? If you copy someone else's work and put your name on it, this is the simplest case of plagiarism. For example, there is an author, Dr. Zimbardo's book, for example. If a writer copies word for word the text from Dr. Zimbardo's book and doesn't acknowledge in any way that it was Dr. Zimbardo's work, then the writer has committed plagiarism. I think today we are allowing a plagiarism of 15%, I hope, in research work. For MTech thesis also in our college, we are allowing nearly 20%, up to 20% plagiarism we are allowing. Patchwork plagiarism. This occurs when the plagiarizer borrows the phrases and clauses from the original source and weaves them into his own writing without putting the phrases in quotation marks or citing the author. This is, I think, simply taking somebody's data and carefully molding into your own and not without citing the original author. This is what you call patchwork plagiarism, right? How it is happening is this one. Now, had the author of this passage has put the phrases in quotation marks and added a citation after the quotation, like Dr. Zimbardo, then the author would have been safe. Otherwise, you can say that the author has committed plagiarism. This is a patchwork type of plagiarism. Third one, paraphrasing type of plagiarism. This occurs when the plagiarizer paraphrases or summarizes another's work without citing the source, even changing the words a little or using synonyms, but retaining others' essential thoughts, sentence structure, and or style without citing the source is still considered as a plagiarism. This is a standard one definition. So now how to escape. Now, had the author of this paragraph used footnotes or parenthetical citations to acknowledge Dr. Zimbardo's work, he or she would have been in the clear. However, since the author acts like these ideas are his or her own, and doesn't acknowledge the original author, it is mounting to plagiarism. Is it? Unintentional, sometimes you say unintentionally and like that you have done incorrectly and all these things. It occurs when the writer incorrectly quotes or incorrectly cites a source they are using. This is happening. For example, if a writer has incorrectly quoted or incorrectly cited a source, it could be misconstrued as dishonesty on the writer's part. The dishonest usage of another's work is most often considered plagiarism. So you can't tell that unintentionally I did. Nobody will accept. Therefore, the incorrect usage of another work, whether it is intentional or not, could be taken for real plagiarism. This model is unintentional model. How to avoid plagiarism? The most thing is that be honest. Try to, you have used a source in your paper, give credit whenever it is due, acknowledge the author of the original work you have used. Try to use your work only for citing. Is it right? Another way to avoid is your work only for citation. I think what I told you, quoting and citing source is usually required and inevitable when doing research. Is it? Another way to do it is quote or cite your sources properly. Whatever you have produced one paper, based on that you are doing another paper. For example, you cite the first paper, then you are not doing plagiarism. But your first paper should be free from plagiarism. That you must make it clear. Research ethics. What are research ethics? Concerns the responsibility of researchers to be honest and respectful to all individuals who are affected by their research studies or their results of reports to studies. I told you that India is today having number of predatory journals, almost fake journals. I think we are put in the international arena. We are India is having number of predatory journals. That means fake information we are reproducing in our engineering research. Involves the application of fundamental ethical principles to planning, conducting, and publishing. What are the guiding principles? Autonomy and respect, beneficence, non-maleficence, justice, scientific validity, honesty. Now coming to the research proposal part. What is a good thing? effective, good style, building goodwill, half truths about writing, better style, draft testing, organizational preferences, recommended resources. Good technical writing. This varies by audience. Consider reader and builds goodwill, maintains consistent and good style. You are not supposed to put you, is it not? You is you're not supposed to use you. Adopts this you meaning is adopts the audience point of view, emphasizes what the audience want to know, protects the audience. Build goodwill, avoid bias, use non-racist and non-ageist language, give someone's race or age only if it is relevant to your communication, refer to a group by the term it prefers, avoid terms that suggest competent members of a certain group or unusual. Half truths about style. Write as you talk, never use I, never begin sentence with and or but, never end sentence with preposition. You can use some big words to impress people. Okay. Ways to build better style. Use the following tips as you draft a formal rough draft. Write and revise the rough draft. For example, a research scholar's report. I think it requires for the submission once all the publications are over for a PhD in engineering. Nearly 15 to 20 times we need to revise. We need to revise our PhD thesis. 15 to 20 copies will be over. Revise, revise, revise until all your words, all your sentences are quite clearly understandable to you because you are the presenter. You are the presenter for your thesis. Is it? You need to explain before the departmental committees, is it research committees, is it? And all these things. Draft, revise, and form paragraphs, writing style preferences. Good writing varies by organization and, of course, from class to class and institute to institute. I told you how is the research in our country and how is the research in the European, UK, and US and Australia. Is it not? Varies from organization to organization. Engineering colleges research, defense laboratories you can take. Their research work is different. Is it not? So varies from organization to organization, class to class, institute to institute. Use the style your audience prefers. Steps of now report writing or what it should contain. Logical analysis of the subject matter. So whatever you are talking should be logically, should give some conclusion. Is it not? Preparation of the final outline. Preparation of the rough draft. Rewriting and polishing of the rough draft. I told you rewrite as many times as possible. Make it into very simpler sentences. See that you are clearly telling your problem to others. So that is what is finally the thing. It should be communicable to all. That's it. Very, very small, simple sentences. Preparation of the final reference bibliography and writing the final draft. Okay. So this is how the format of research proposal, mechanics of report writing. Definite and set rule should be followed in the actual preparation of the research report. Once techniques are finally decided, they should be scrupulously adhered to with no deviation. Is it? The following point deserve mention so far as the mechanics of writing a report are concerned. Size and physical design. The manuscript should be written on unruled paper, 8.5 inch into 11 inch in size. It is to be written by hand. Black or blue black ink should be used. These are all the older days up to writing on a manuscript. We used to send on a manuscript. Is it not? Now on electronic submissions only? A margin of at least 1.5 inches should be allowed at the left hand side and the at least half an inch at the right hand of the paper. Today, I think if you see, You have got Springer formats, Elsevier formats. Springer and Elsevier are the publishing houses, technological, technical, medical, all publishing houses across the globe. IEEE is on, IEEE publishing, is it? Springer, hmm? Elsevier are the major publications. So they put their own formats, publishing formats. So whatever you want, you need to put all your material into their format only. Then only they will accept it. These are all the subject to the publisher. Various steps in writing the report should be strictly adhered to. Layout, keeping in view the objective and nature of the problem, the layout of the report should be thought of and decided accordingly. Treatment of quotations. Quotations should be placed in quotation marks and double spaced, forming an immediate part of the text. But if the quotation is of considerable length, more than 4 or 5 type written line, then it should be single spaced and indented at least half an inch to the right of the normal text margin. So an index should be given at the end of the report to act as a good guide to the reader. See, I think you need to see some research reports. Today, many research reports are available online. You have got an India repository system is available, Ahmedabad, in all our Indian PhD thesis, electronic thesis, you can see. The IITs have put their research thesis online. That you can see, you can search the international universities in US and UK. They are putting online. You can see and check. They follow different formats because the formats vary from university to university, institution to institution, laboratory to laboratory. I'm telling you. So don't get confused. You need to follow your institution or university rules only. So before a presentation, should take care of footnotes, punctuations, and abbreviations, use of statistics, graphs, and charts, because these I told you this is very, very important. All the results should be in the form of graphs and charts, the final draft, bibliography, the index, the reference index, whatever you are putting in the back. So how to write a report? Writing a report is conditioned by various factors. A good research report is one which communicates with the readers efficiently and effectively. The researcher, therefore, should keep in mind the following precautions while writing the report. A report should not be written in haste. Language and method of presentation should be suitable to the level of intelligence and knowledge of the readers. A BTech undergraduate report can be around 75 pages. An MTech thesis, graduate thesis can be around 75 to 100 pages. A PhD thesis in engineering can be from 100 to 150 pages. That depends from university to university and institution to institution. They will give the norms. You have to write accordingly those things. Okay. Abstract terminology and technical jargon should be avoided. That I told you, it should be simple and understandable. That reports vary in length, which I told you, should be long enough to cover the subject but short enough to maintain interest. A report should not be dull, should be highly active. Charts, graphs, statistical tables should be used to make it attractive and to provide ready availability to the finding. These are what you call as illustrations. Your work should be illustrable to all. Is it? The layout should be in accordance with the objective of the research problem. The report should be free from grammatical mistakes. That is why minimum 20 to 30 times to be revised the PhD thesis. All the composite parts must be presented in proper order. The report should show originality and must contribute to the solution of a problem. I think you can see Stephen Hawking's thesis work. It is around some 50 pages. It is already available on online. Very, very beautiful research work. You can see, you can download and you can read it. just 50 pages, he has finished his research problem. To usually consider desirable, the report makes a forecast of the probable future of the subject concerned and indicates the kind of research still needs to be done, that particular future references, the future scope of the research work and all. Right? This is how you need to go for your undergraduate, graduate, and your doctoral researches. Apart from that, project proposals. So many project proposals are available. AICT project proposals, Department of Science and Technology project proposals are there. So if you follow all these things, you can go for the writing of any project proposal, or you can go for any research paper present. Right. So any doubt from your side? Hello, am I audible to you?
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir.
Yeah. Is
Sir,
the
we have,
presentation?
yes, sir.
Time is over.
So we have received a number of queries in the chat window.
Okay, chat box. I think
Okay.
there is some problem with the computer. I am not getting, it's not going in a perfect way. There is some problem. Where are the queries?
Yes, sir. Let me read, sir. I will read all the queries.
Can you read? Let me
Yes,
see.
sir. Yes, sir.
Why, there
So,
is some technical problem, I think.
So, sir, first question is that how much a student asked of Akhilesh that how much impact a research work can put in case we are trying to generate a product or service.
That I told you, product, you want a product research work is different. The beginning itself, I started the definition of research. And I told you the invention model, the discovery models, is it not? For a basic student at a graduate level, what do you want? The question, tell me.
So, yes, sir. Let me read again.
I
So,
think
how much impact a research work can put in case we are trying to generate a product or service?
Product or service. So this is for from which student? It's for BTech students or MTech students?
Sir, BTech student.
How much means for, you see, should be in, you're asking about the amount of time for the research work.
No, impact means the student, I think maybe he wants to know how this research work can help us in developing any product or service.
That is coming for your IPR, na? Intellectual patent works.
Okay, sir.
Patenting.
Okay, sir. So we have some other queries also, sir.
Yeah.
So second query is that what content should be written in our project report? Means what are the at a BTech thesis, what are the basic main content should be there?
So literature review.
Yes, sir.
The thing, what the problem statement, whatever you are giving, is it? The description of your project, your findings, is it? At the end, appendices followed by bibliography.
So another question is there means what is plagiarism and should be the limit of plagiarism?
Plagiarism, I think I clearly explained different types of plagiarism.
Yes, sir.
I even told you how people are taking.
So they want to know, sir, what should be the limit of plagiarism?
Limit is for our MTech courses, I think it is less than 15%.
Okay.
For undergraduate degree, I think there is nothing is asked about plagiarism, I think, BTech course.
Yes, sir.
For MTech course, JNT is asking plagiarism report. Anyhow, for PhD, plagiarism is already there.
Sir, one more question we have received that in student, they have to write in their project report that abstract and conclusion. They want to know what is the main difference between the abstract and conclusion. Sometimes it looks similar.
See, no, abstract and conclusion, right?
Yes,
see, they have developed something, they have done some project work, and they described all those project work in the 30 or 40 pages of that thesis work. Is it right? All
yes.
those, whatever they have done, that work, you have to put in very very sharp and simple sentences in the abstract. That means by reading the abstract, anybody should know what the student has actually done in the book, because we don't read the book, thesis books. We only read the abstracts. So in the abstract, they have to present their problem statement and how they have done the problem and what are the results. All these things must come in the abstract itself. Conclusion is how they have done the course, the problem, how they have solved. That is a conclusion part.
Sir, one more question is that last question means students have to do some literature review in their project. So
Yeah.
what is the importance of this literature review in their project work?
Literature review tells you whether there is scope for any problem or not. There should be some scope. Is it not? That scope will be known to you only when you starting research literature. Not one time, number of times you are supposed to read it. Try to find there is something that you can do justice, more justice. Some other parameter you can vary and see that results are coming like that.
So thank you, sir, for answering all the queries.
Yeah.
So it was a very nice and informative presentation on research methodologies, project proposal, and paper writing. Really, the session has developed an interest in this domain. Sir, you have very nicely explained about the basics of research and its methodologies. And like you have also explained what is plagiarism and how we can avoid it, the plagiarism. At the end also, you have very nicely explained about how to write a technical report. So now I kindly request Dr. Head CAE, Madam, Dr. B. Premalata, Madam, to give a vote of thanks.
So a very good afternoon to one and all. First of all, I would like to thank our professor, Dr. B. Lokeshwara Garu, for sparing his valuable time and has given a wonderful lecture. So on plagiarism, how to do research and how to write the report. So really it was a very nice session, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for your support and cooperation. So as the head of CAE, I really express my gratitude to you. I request all the students, you please utilize, we are going to conduct a series of sessions like this. Please make use of this facility. Thank you very much, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am, for your vote of thanks. So now I would like to thank our respected Secretary, sir, and Honorable Principal, Major Dr. B. Narayana, sir, for his approval and support in conducting the event. I would like to express our sincerest gratitude to Dr. B. Lokeshwar Rao, sir, for presenting such an wonderful session on research methodology, project proposal, and paper writing. Now, from the department we have, I want to present a small token of appreciation to sir. I'm sharing my screen. So, from department side, we would like to present you this token of appreciation to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome, sir. So, at last, I would like to thank our HOD, sir, Head CAE, Madam, and all the faculty of EC department, and all my dear students for joining the sessions. With this, I would like to conclude the session. Dear participants, now you may leave the session. Thank you, sir. Now I am ending the meeting, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.